We try to bring you high-quality educational and informational content every single day. Why do you think the price is having such an anemic time? The news story of the hour. Jump onto the chart. Is this the beginning of a massive financial unraveling? We gotta add a little addendum to the show map today. So we start here on the daily. Now, we've been looking at the RSI on Bitcoin's daily chart for the last several days. They always have been, but it's been increasing over the last 50 years since the government has been getting. Hey guys, what's going on? Jab here, and welcome back to Coffee and Crypto Live. This is your week daily morning show where we bring you the latest and everything Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about massive support that Bitcoin is currently finding itself directly atop. Over the last 48 hours, Bitcoin has rallied up to and briefly broken above $50,000 in one of the most spectacular rallies that Bitcoin has seen in quite some time. We had a very exciting stream yesterday as we watched that rally happening live, and today I'm very excited to bring you even more technical analysis regarding that movement that we saw yesterday and the movements that we have seen since. We have a lot to talk about today, so we're going to get right into it. I do want to let you guys know that today's stream is brought to you by none other than NordVPN. If you sign up for NordVPN, which you can see right here, sign up with the link in the description box down below or by going to nordvpn.com/Jeb. You will be getting access to incredible security architecture that is going to help keep you safe, free, and sovereign while you browse the internet. You've heard of NordVPN before, but you've never thought about actually signing up for it potentially. If you haven't, I'm going to give you one good reason that you ought to sign up for it, and that is because it is going to help protect you from hackers. You don't want somebody to get into your computer through your IP address, hack into your accounts, steal all your cryptocurrency because you didn't spend $200 for the next 2 years of protection with a subscription to NordVPN. You can use the link in the description box down below and get a big discount. All right, let's read some chat. Very, very, very excited to be here today, guys. Crypto Nebs is in chat. Said, curiosity is the wick in the candle of learning. Embrace CT2A and embrace red days, even if they are really red days. Absolutely, Crypto Nebs. Really appreciate that shout out for CT2A coming in first things first. If you guys don't know, CT2A is the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy. That is the academy where I've been teaching you guys how to do technical analysis on cryptocurrency markets for over 5.5 years. If you guys have not signed up for CT2A, you're missing out. The link's in the description box down below. You're going to be getting access to almost 50 videos teaching you high-quality technical analysis to help you understand the markets. We've also got Alex Nibo in chat. Official Samurai Zach. Not Samurai Jack, it's Samurai Zach. We just got to make sure that's clear. Joe Bollier's in chat. RJ, Marley, Jason, Grand Roofing Incorporated. One House Production said, yeah! There we go. Sasha321 in chat, Crypto Guy in chat, Jason Hahn in chat, Crypto Cousins, Cuz is in chat, Tales from the Cryptoverse, Happy Inflation Day from Ottawa, Canada. There you go. Bob Riley's in chat, Michael C. Igor Derkach is in chat. I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. I'm so sorry. Piyush A is in chat. Pew Pew Poom 2 is in chat. Ayub and so many more. Queens here, Crypto Mini Bike, Sean O'Brien, The Max. So many people in chat. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thiago Cordero is in chat. I'm sorry. I'm horrible at Portuguese. I'm so bad at it. So bad at it. I'm better at Spanish because I married a Puerto Rican lady named Sara, my beautiful wife. So I know a little bit of Spanish, but I am terrible at Portuguese. True story, and then we'll jump into the chat. I was in 9th grade Spanish class, and I learned how to say, Hola, ¿cómo está? Me llama Jeb in 9th grade, right? So I walk up to this guy in this video game, and he's talking on the voice over IP, like the local area chat, and he's talking in this other language, and I don't know hardly any Spanish other than just to say that and ¿Dónde es el baño? Like that's all I know how to say in Spanish, right? I'm 14. So I walk up to this guy, and he's talking in another language, and I'm like, oh, I know Spanish. I can go talk to this guy. So I walk up to him, I go, Hola, me llama Jeb. ¿Cómo está? And he says in English, I was speaking Portuguese, you idiot. Oh man, that got me good. He got me. I'm sorry. That's a true story. You might think I'm joking. I'm not joking. That really happened. All right, Bitcoin is trading at $50,000. It is currently sitting at $981 billion in market capitalization. Ethereum is sitting at $26.76, up 16.5% over the last 7 days. Major rally coming in on both markets over just the last 24 hours. Bitcoin up 3% over the last 24. Ethereum up 6.32% in the last 24. I do want to update this because I don't think this is actually up to date. There we go. For some reason, that wasn't updating. Currently, we're actually trading sideways. That was a little bit outdated. Apologies. But we're basically at the exact same price levels. Ethereum's right there still at 26.36. Bitcoin obviously has dropped. I mean, that's kind of the whole point of what we're going to talk about. I'm like, it's not at 50K. What are you saying, CoinMarketCap? It dropped a little bit. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. But jumping back on over here, Solana is up over the last 24 hours. Currently moving up towards 110. It's up 16.17% in the last 7 days. Cardano is doing pretty well over the last 7 days, up at 55 cents, up 10%. Avalanche up 16.3% in the last week. Chainlink up 6.5% in the last week. Polygon up 8% in the last week. Polkadot up 7%. ICP up 7%. 5.5% in that time. Immutable X jumping up to rank number 22. It's up 30% in a week. How's that for some gains? Optimism has been doing extremely well. I ran into a friend of mine yesterday, who has been investing in Optimism, and it has been very, how shall we say, optimistic for his portfolio. So that's been wonderful. Near Protocol doing well. I am a holder of Near Protocol. Very excited about that. It's been doing well. Injective up pretty much across the board. Everything's doing great. Caspa's up. Stacks is up. Guys, we are on final approach to all-time high run. All right, I don't know if you're catching that from the way that the market is moving. I don't know if that shows itself clearly in the I don't know if that makes itself very apparent in what the altcoins are doing, but that is true. That's where I believe we're going. I believe we're moving into an all-time high run, and I cannot wait to see where we're going to go from here. Thiago is laughing because that has probably happened to you, except you're on the other side of that conversation saying, hey, I'm not speaking Spanish, you knucklehead. I'm speaking Portuguese. I know they sound alike, but get your facts straight. Tell me if that's ever happened to you. Surely it has. Surely for all my Portuguese speakers out there, somebody's walked up to you that doesn't know Portuguese or Spanish and they only speak English or another language, and they think they know what you're talking about, and they don't. Good morning from Ireland. Jose Luis Sales said, good morning to you as well. Really appreciate all of you for tuning in. Let's go ahead and jump straight on to... Let's go ahead and jump straight onto the charts because we got a lot to talk about here, guys. Bitcoin has gone through a major correction over the last about 6-7 hours, and it's concerning to many people. Many people are freaked out about this drop, and I'm here to tell you that you shouldn't be. And there's several reasons for that, but let's rewind. Let's YouTube rewind. Did they do one last year? Somebody's got to tell me in chat. We have this massive rally that has taken place on Bitcoin where we rallied 120%. Sorry, over 120 days, we rallied 98%. We had a correction, which was great, and now we have come out of that correction stronger than ever, like a phoenix being rebirthed. Bitcoin has moved into a new rally. It's moved all the way up to $50,000. And yesterday, Bitcoin set a local high of $50,435. And we reversed. A couple of reasons for this. If you will recall, we talked about how $50,000 was going to be a major level of resistance for many reasons. But one of the most significant reasons why $50,000 was going to be a very important level of resistance was because it was sitting right there at the 0.786 Fibonacci level. Now, depending on what chart you're looking at, it's going to move around a little bit, but what's important is that we're looking at the logarithmic chart here. This is going to show up on log. It's going to look something different on linear. We'll talk about that in a moment. But the 0.786, which is the last Fibonacci retracement level that we need to breach to go back to all-time high, is sitting at roughly $50,000. Depending on how exactly you draw, it's going to move around a little bit, but it's right there at about 50 grand. And it is very significant to Bitcoin. You can see, if we zoom out over here to yesterday's price action, you will see on this chart right here that that is exactly where we rallied to. If we go ahead and remove a lot of these lines, it will look a lot more obvious. This line right here is the 0.786 Fibonacci level. We talked about how if Bitcoin broke above 44.3 to 44.7, which was this range right here, and we had Lux Algo confirmation, which did occur at the same time that we broke that level. If we see that occur, we're going to move up to the 0.786 Fibonacci level, which is in tandem with 50K, and we're going to have some difficulties there. We talked about how that's the next ceiling, and there's a huge sell wall. Yesterday in chat, somebody said that the sell wall on Binance was some 470 Bitcoin deep, or some kind of number. I believe it was 400 and something. It might have been 440, but it was in the 400s Bitcoin deep at exactly 50K. That's not even anything above $50,000. And so $50,000 has presented itself as a remarkably powerful level of resistance. And with that context, we can continue to analyze what ended up occurring. Bitcoin rallied to $50,000, and originally, Bitcoin was essentially stopped out exactly at 50K. Literally to the penny at 50K. If we plug $50,000 in here, you will see that that is exactly where Bitcoin rallied to the first time that we moved up here. And the reason for that was because of that huge sell wall on many different exchanges, on Coinbase too. That is the exact to the penny level that we stopped out at. Not a cent higher did Bitcoin go the first time that we rallied to that level. But just a few minutes later, about an hour later, Bitcoin pulled back to 49.5 and began another rally. And we actually punched through 50K and we rallied to 50,371. And then we pulled back again and we rallied a third time and we rallied up to about to a very similar level. Right there, right around $50,369. Why is this important? Well, the reason that this is important is a little bit like this. If let's say it's 1917 and we're on some field that used to be a pasture in France, and you're in no man's land, and it's the Battle of the Somme, let's say it is, and you've got the trenches on both sides. The trench here is at $50,000, and I'll tell you what, it's a big one. It's a strong one. It's a very powerful trench. It's essentially impenetrable. And so the first time an attack comes into it, it's with a lot of force. It's like, boom, charge of 10,000 men across no man's land. Hit the trench, and then you get repulsed. The second time, though, you fall back a little bit, you regroup, and then boom, you get through the first trench. But the issue for the bears here, which are up in this territory, the issue for the bears here, the issue for them is that on that second attack, the bulls actually managed to capture the first level. They actually managed to push through $50,000, and I'll tell you what they did while they're in there. They broke everything that they could find. They destroyed every piece of equipment, they gutted it, and they completely hollowed it out. And so, yes, now the bears have come back and recaptured that trench, and of course they repulsed us, and the bulls fall back to their line, and this whole thing kind of resets, and Bitcoin falls back down to its uptrending level of support, which is like its equivalent of a trench, right? If we take the analogy that far. The point is, however, the bulls got into $50,000 and plundered it. Took all the radios, took all the rifles, took all the bullets, took all the 50,400 or so is their actual strong line. 50K has been terrorized. So when Bitcoin comes back up to $50,000, it's going to have an easier time of breaking through $50,000 the second time than it did the first time. You might think, Jeb, this is just an analogy. That's how war works. That's not how crypto works. You would be surprised how many similarities there are. And I'll tell you why. It's the same human psychology and thought, train of thought that leads to the same result in both outcomes. In the war analogy, the bears, the defending army here in this case, they're sitting here thinking, oh man, their confidence, their morale in $50,000 has been broken. So they're not going to put as much effort into trying to defend it. They now have confidence in this level behind it. But that means Bitcoin pushed 4 yards, if you want to use a football analogy. Pushed $400 if you want to talk Bitcoin. Pushed 100 yards if you want to talk the war analogy. Whatever it is, they had to fall back. Now the bears have confidence in this level. They've lost confidence in this level, which means the next time that Bitcoin rallies up here to test $50,000, the bears are going to have less confidence in that level. And, by the way, the bulls will have more confidence because they've already been there once. Now the bulls, this onslaught, this besieging army, call it the French, this besieging army, now they know what all the tunnels look like. They picked everybody's brain. They put a map together of it. So they've got a better understanding of how to get through $50,000. And the point here is that when you get to $50,000, the bulls, to speak practically now, are going to be much more likely to buy even at that level. And the bears are going to be much less likely to sell at that level. And with the bulls being more emboldened and the fact that their support is on this uptrend right here, they don't have to exhaust as much of their energy running towards that level. They can instead put even more energy into breaking that level. All of that leads us to the conclusion that when Bitcoin does rally back up here to $50,000, which I do believe will happen, when and if we do rally back up to $50,000, $50,000 will be a much easier level to break. And as I told you yesterday, we are basically sitting right here on the blood plains of Poland. There is nothing stopping us from getting to $69,000 after we break 50. Obviously, there's land. You've got to cross some distance, but there's barely any resistance until you get up to that level. If you zoom out to the last several years and you bring up the visible range volume profile, you're going to see that there ain't a whole lot in the way. I'm going to pull up the chat on my phone to make sure everything's going well for you guys. But The point of the matter is Bitcoin did break through $50,000, even if ever so briefly yesterday, and that will shatter the confidence of the of the bears that are trying to maintain that level. All right, let's go ahead and read some chat, and then we'll keep it moving here. I really appreciate all of you guys for tuning in. Bears are so salty this week. Yes, exactly, they are. Yes, exactly, they are. All right, let's read some chat here. People are talking about CPI. Yep, we're going to get to that here in just a minute. Never alter your limit sells buys. Yep. It took a long time for Bitcoin to pass 50K, also years. It did. But one, it's past $50,000 before in past, and two, we just broke it again recently. All right. Noobs buy at all-time high and sell it at a loss, in my opinion. That's right, and that's why when Bitcoin is correcting right now is a much better time to buy than at 50K, because of course 50K is a big driver there. Okay. Let's read some more chat here. As you guys know, we are about to talk about CPI because that print did come out this morning, obviously. Well, they normally come out at 8:30, I believe, right? Yes, they normally come out at 8:30. So that was about 2 hours ago. So let's talk a little bit about the CPI release because that's also obviously been a factor here. If you look on the, let's say the 5-minute chart for Bitcoin here, let's look back to 8:30 when that comes out. CPI always comes out at 8:30. And you can see right here, part of the reason why we fell away from $50,000. And you guys have been talking about this in chat, and I want to talk about it too, because CPI is a very important metric. As you guys know, there is a huge amount of importance that is put on the consumer price index. And a large part of the reason for that, which we'll show it right over here, we've talked about the consumer price index ad nauseum for a long time. Big part of the reason why CPI is so important is because it is the number that the Federal Open Market Committee sets their rates by. The CPI is currently sitting at 3.1% on all items, sitting at 3.9% on major categories. And we actually saw a bit of an increase here on major categories. If I can't recall I believe it was 3.5. You guys will have to correct me. I believe it was 3.5 on major categories last month, and it was 3.1 on on all items last month. I believe it was 3.1, and on all items less food and energy it was 3.5. I do believe is the case. So we technically kind of saw a little bit of an uptick here, which is unfortunate, and it is probably where part of this drop came from. And the fact of the matter is here that with CPI still sitting at these levels above target 2, that does make it a little bit more difficult for the effective federal funds rate to come down. Because if you go to fedwatch.com, been there a billion times, huh? If we go to the CME group, FedWatch, I ought to bookmark this. If you go here to the CME group FedWatch tool, they are predicting so far that at the next meeting there's going to be an overwhelming likelihood of a rate pause. And part of that is probably because of this morning's CPI release. May the 1st, we're starting to get some possibility of a drop. By June the 12th, which is another meeting, we have an overwhelming likelihood of some kind of drop. But so long as we see CPI trading sideways or actually potentially even going up ever so slightly, then that ends up making it difficult. That ends up making it difficult for Bitcoin to go into a rally, because that means that we're probably not going to see a drop on the effective federal funds rate. So translating that to markets, you can see that pretty much as soon as that data came out, Bitcoin began a major drop and Bitcoin fell away from $50,000. I'd like to note here that the CPI in the short term is not going to actually have a huge impact on Bitcoin. Excuse me, in the medium term, it's not going to have a huge impact on Bitcoin. Obviously, in the short term, it's going to have a huge impact. Bitcoin dropped $1,000 on the news, $1,400 on the news. But in 3 days, people are going to forget about it. They're going to forget about the CPI, and Bitcoin's going to return to doing whatever it's going to do with the charts. And the CPI information is very important. But what I will say is that the effective federal funds rate is more important. Having a drop is going to be such a massive bullish catalyst, and we're likely going to see that in the next 3 months. It is highly, highly, highly likely that we're going to see a CPI drop at some point in the next 3 months. I'm sorry, an effective federal funds rate drop at some point in the next 3 months. So yes, Bitcoin tanked because of the CPI data, but guess what? That just means that we didn't fall away from $50,000 for any real good reason, technically. We just fell away from it because of some FUD, which is going to be forgotten about tomorrow. And so Bitcoin is going to go into another major rally and rally back up to $50,000, and I do think it's going to break it. And a big part of the reason for that has to do with some of our technicals out here on the daily chart. MACD is roaring right now. Obviously, it's going to go through some correction because it's so high. Same thing with RSI. Obviously, it's going to go through some correction because it is so high. But in general, these two oscillators are sitting at a very, very, very substantially high level. Massively, massively, massively high level. We've got RSI sitting at 67. We've got MACD sitting in one of the most bullish territories that it's been at in a very long time. This shows that the bulls are very strong. Furthermore, you've got total market capitalization sitting above $1.175 trillion. RSI MACD very bullish there. ETH sitting at local highs, looking like it could break it relatively soon. Solana sitting at 110. It's moving up into local high territory. A lot of people are making a lot of money off of the altcoins right now. Cardano's still kind of trading sideways, but I expect good things from it. And also, the other thing to keep in mind is that the stock market corrected today. A lot of people are worried about Bitcoin, but ultimately, Bitcoin's really following the stocks. And over in the stock world, we've got the S&P falling back down to 480. Potentially. If that happens, then, it'd probably be a good thing from a fundamental standpoint for Bitcoin. But in the short run, it might lead to some bearishness. So Bitcoin may range sideways here for a couple of days. It may take it a day or two to get back up to $50,000. But I've got reason to believe that Bitcoin will continue this rally. And listen, we may drop below this uptrending level of support first. If we do, we've got this uptrending level of support, which is the same one that's been in effect for like the last year and a half. If we fall below that level, then we've also got $45,900. So let's pay attention to what the market is doing, and let's not get freaked out. Let's not lose our minds here. Bitcoin just had a great correction, very healthy correction off of 50. We needed it. We've got some strong bouncing going on here on the 5-minute chart. MACD is crossing bullish. RSI is moving up. Let's see what happens. Let's not freak out. I think that Bitcoin is going to be in great shape, and I do think that we'll end up breaking through $50,000 at some point in the next couple of days. Quinn Daughtery said, "Good morning, Jeb. Wow, look at the viewers today." Okay, we need more likes. It just takes a second. Yes, guys, we've got almost 700 people watching live today, which, by the way, thank you so much. I am so honored that you would be here with us today, learning more about technical analysis, about Bitcoin, and ultimately, more importantly, about financial sovereignty, which is the state of having control over your finances, lest they control you. So make sure that if you have not already, hit that like button. It helps to support the channel, and also make sure to subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Guys, I am really excited because we just hit 229,000 subscribers again. If you guys didn't know, during the last bull market, we hit an all-time high on subscribers of 229,747. I believe is the number. And we are currently on a pace to hit that number again in the next week. We're at 229,070 subscribers right now, which means we're about 700 subscribers away from an all-time high. And that is very exciting because the channel has been growing so much, and I cannot wait to see where it's going to go from here. As you guys can see, this is behind the scenes. You can only see this from your own dashboard, but I'll go ahead and show you. You can see right over here, June 20th, I believe it was, or June 23rd. I think it was June 23rd. Let's see. June 26th and 27th, we peaked out 229,777. We're only about 707 subscribers away from that, guys. We went through this big, long, protracted, drawn-out correction in subscribers because of the bear market, and YouTube was unsubscribing like 1,500 people a month from us. It was stupid. And then with everything that happened with the company, it just kind of sucked. But we've been on this big uptrend lately. We've added like 10,000 new subscribers in the last couple of months. So shout out to everybody who is new to the channel. Welcome. Very excited that you could be here. And I am so very thankful and blessed that I get to be in a position to share with you guys some of the things that I've learned over my experience here in markets. Let's see what liquidity does to the market in a few months whenever the tap is turned back on. Yep, it's coming. Guys, it's coming. Crypto Surge says, smash the likes. There's 500 viewers in here. Come on. Yeah, I appreciate it, guys. Thank you. Will you be able to retire on 2040 off of one Bitcoin? I love that question. And, we actually had, if you guys don't know, I do financial coaching. We actually had 5 people fill out the intake form and 3 people sign up for financial coaching just in the last, 14, literally, I'll just read it right here. We had, in the last 14 hours, we've had 3 people sign up for a financial coaching call with me. So I love doing financial coaching. We had another 5 or 6 people fill out the intake form. If you guys want to do financial coaching with me, I love doing it. It's one of my favorite things to do. Sign up with the link in the description box down below. So I get that question a lot in those kind of calls, like, what do I need to retire? There's a lot of things you need to retire. You need the right mindset. You need the right plan. You need to be out of debt. You don't need to be out of debt, but it's better to be out of as much debt as possible. And you do need a considerable net worth to be able to retire. In 2040, I think Bitcoin will probably be worth over $1 million, but also $1 million won't get you as far in 2040. So will you be able to retire in 2040 off of one Bitcoin? It depends on the kind of retirement you want to live. I don't really think that the retirement that most of you are looking for is going to be possible off of just one Bitcoin, because most of you probably want to retire at 60 to 67, somewhere in that range, and live another 20 or so years. If you have $1 million Bitcoin, you could probably sell it for $50,000 a year for 20 years, and that's really not going to get you very far, especially in 2040 when $50,000 feels a lot more like 30 right now. So I think you're going to need more than that, but I do believe that getting one Bitcoin would be an incredible first step towards building a retirement portfolio. And if you guys want to work more on building retirement plans and everything, I do that for a living also. And if you guys are interested, I love doing that. I love it so much. It's so much fun. So sign up if you're interested. I'm working on a personal finance course as well that I can send you guys through if you are interested. My dream is not just to teach you guys about crypto. My ultimate dream is to teach you guys about how to build a financially sovereign life. And one of the ways that I do that is by teaching you guys technical analysis. But there's a lot more that I have on my heart to teach you as well about how to build a financially sovereign life where you are in control of your finances and your financial destiny rather than them being in control of you. Let's continue to read chat here. Vintage Excellence said, election year, the president always makes the economy as good as he can to make people happy. Yeah, for real. Right now, it seems FOMO and pushers want 50K plus. Yes, a lot of people do want 50K plus. A lot of the big institutions have kind of loaded up. We're really getting into that territory where we're going to just kind of take off. I do believe Bitcoin's going to 100K. Vintage Excellence said, I'm retiring in Thailand in a year. Cool. Have fun for that. Yeah, man, in Thailand. Said, hello from Thailand. Boom. Bart Simpson pattern. That's right. It is a Bart Simpson pattern. Been watching since 2020 bull run. We are blessed to have you being a light and guide in this industry. Thank you, Quinn Daughtery. I do appreciate that. All the glory to this thing that I got right next to me. So I've got an iPad stand over here that I'm supposed to have my iPad on, but I said, you know what? I got a better tablet of knowledge that I'm going to set up here for this morning. All right. Alan, that sounds very reasonable. So yeah, you can, so one Bitcoin, that'll get you a long way. If you're out of debt and you've got maybe Social Security coming in, if that's around in 2040, etc., it'll get you a long way. But I think you're probably going to need more than that. Unless you retire in Thailand. Yeah, for sure. That may change things. Things are probably cheaper over there. All right. More like, here's a great point. Germ Corp said, more like the dollar has more strength when rates are higher. So dollar higher, Bitcoin lower, just the rate. Yes, when the effective federal funds rate is higher, it does in a way make it can make the dollar stronger. And if the dollar is stronger, that generally does make Bitcoin a lot weaker. All right. Yesterday, you said you had a substantial amount of Bitcoin. Are you a whole coiner or more? Just curious as to what is considered substantial. Yes, I have considerably more than one coin. Yes, I've been a whole coiner in Bitcoin for, gosh, probably 5 years now. Yeah, no, it's been a while. We've had one coin for a while. I love to accumulate Bitcoin, guys. There's a bunch. That's cool because there's a bunch of different ways that I accumulate Bitcoin. All right. What's your analysis on the Bitcoin dominance chart, Satchit? That's a great question. The Bitcoin dominance chart is a very important chart because it shows you the sentiment of the space, right? The space, it is a chart that tells you what does the market believe more in, Bitcoin or the alts. And the trajectory has been more so that Bitcoin has been gaining dominance over the last 14 months or so, which means that the market believes more so in Bitcoin, and that's traditionally how it goes during bear markets. Because all of the altcoins kind of lose a lot of the interest, and a lot of the altcoin foundations and whatnot look like they're on a path to bankruptcy during the bear markets, and so Bitcoin isn't like that. Bitcoin is the really, there's a good reason that it's the only cryptocurrency that's been considered a commodity, because of every single one of the major cryptocurrencies, it's the one that looks most like a commodity. Some of the other cryptocurrencies, I don't think they are securities. I don't think they should be regulated as securities, but there's a lot more of an argument that they're securities than there is for Bitcoin. Bitcoin is well and truly a commodity. And the good thing about a commodity is that it might go down during a bear market, but the fundamentals don't change during a bear market. Gold doesn't stop being gold during a bear market. Silver does not stop being silver during a bear market. It is still physically it still has physically the exact same properties that made it valuable before the bear market. So that means a couple of things. Number one, it means stability, which I hear you. I already know where you're going with this. Well, Jeb, stability. If Bitcoin's a commodity, then why isn't it stable? Well, I'm going to get to that. Hang on. It means stability. It means that the commodities generally rally less, but they also go down less, because they're impacted by outside market forces, but they're not impacted by internal forces. How much Apple grows is very much determined by how Apple operates internally and how they interface with the outside world. Not just how the outside world uses Apple. It's how the Apple company works outside of itself. Same thing with Google, Alphabet, whatever company. Changes the valuation. The company is the driver of the value of itself. That being said, in the case of a commodity like gold or silver, or in this case Bitcoin, it doesn't change at all during a bear market. It doesn't change at all. In the same way, it doesn't change at all during a bull market. So it ends up being less volatile, because there's not the kind of snowball in the bullish direction in the bull markets, and there's not this snowball in the bearish direction in the bear markets. It just is being impacted by consumer interest, especially with Bitcoin, because the demand is because the supply is almost fixed at this point. If you had a supercomputer with perfect omniscience, let's say like God came down and he told us, and he's omniscient, so he knows everything, and we ask him, God, what is the actual circulating supply of Bitcoin based on how much is actually able to be how much is being mined, how much people actually have access to, how much has been lost to landfills, and he came down and he said, you know what, it's probably about sideways. I don't know what it is, but it's probably about sideways, right? The supply of Bitcoin is probably about static. How much is being put into the market is probably right around how much is being lost in landfills and sent to the wrong wallet and all of that, and people dying and not giving out and not sharing their private keys with anyone, etc. So Bitcoin has almost perfectly static supply at this point, especially after the halving. That will definitely be true. 3.125 Bitcoin every single 10 minutes are almost certainly being lost. I mean, that's not much Bitcoin. Right? It is a lot of Bitcoin, but when you're talking about 100 million users, it's not a lot of Bitcoin. And so the reason I mention this is because the Bitcoin dominance chart shows us the tides of change between, hey, we're going into this commodity stance where this thing doesn't change, or we're going back into this kind of security stance where, and I'm not saying the cryptos are securities, but I don't have a better word for it. So we're moving into this kind of corporate stance where we've got the foundations, and they've got money coming in, and they got fees, and they've got bankroll, and they've got new developers, and they got da-da-da-da-da, and they're coming out with a new phone, and they got this, and they got that, and they got that, and they got that. And whenever you have a company behind something, that company runs out of money during the bear market, so it stops doing as much, which leads to volatility in the bearish direction. In the bull market, they start making more money because there's more money. Wow, that was complicated. So they end up start making more money, which means the price goes up more. And so the altcoins, by nature of them having development going on behind the scenes and having complicated products rather than it just being a commodity, they rally more in the bull markets, crash more in the bear markets. So Bitcoin has been in this period of high market dominance over the course of the last 14 months. And the reason for that is because the market shifts back and forth from investing in things that have companies and foundations behind them. Security is not the term, but that's kind of the idea. All the things that are organized as securities, call them altcoins. The point is they have foundations that are developing things, and the development is leading to the value. But then you've got Bitcoin, which is a commodity. So in the bear market, you go to the commodity because it's safe. In the bull market, you go towards the companies because they have more growth potential. And so right now, the fun thing is that Bitcoin is sitting right here at 52.5% market dominance, 52% market dominance or so. And it's sitting at 50 grand. Like, we have not even started shifting market dominance back into the altcoins yet. It's going to come. It's going to happen, but it hasn't started yet. And the reason that that's exciting is because when that does start, the altcoins are going to take off, and they're going to leave Bitcoin in the dust, and Bitcoin's going to start going back down towards the 30s in market dominance, as it's done in both of the last two bull markets. During both of the last two bull markets, at the end of 2017, Bitcoin was at 32% market dominance. ETH, a lot of people were thinking was going to flip Bitcoin back then. Here at the end of the the last bull market, 2020 and 2021 bull market, Bitcoin was at 5% market dominance a couple of times, or 37% market dominance. Similar things going to happen here. You're going to see a drop of market dominance on Bitcoin, rally in market dominance on altcoins, and that's going to be one of the signs of the bull market. We've not even really started to see that happen yet. So we've got a lot of things to look forward to. It's a great question. Does Exodus a good cold wallet? Exodus is not a cold wallet. They're more of either a warm or a hot wallet, depending on how you want to put it. I have Exodus wallet. I use Exodus wallet. I love Exodus wallet. I would not call Exodus wallet a cold wallet. That you're looking at your Trezors and your Ledgers and your Tangems and all of those. We have a link for Tangem down below if you're interested. Let's see. Dharmendra Patel is in chat. Good to see you. Let's see. Gold and silver indestructible. Crypto is destructible. How do you destroy Bitcoin? Are you talking about through like sending it to the wrong wallet? That's true. But if anything, wouldn't that make it more valuable? If anything, wouldn't that make it more valuable because that's going to bring the supply down and change the supply and demand economics? All right. Shadrach Frost said, folks, please smash that like button right away. It takes a second and really helps the channel. Give back the love and support that Jeb brings to us on a daily basis. Thank you, friends. Hashtag FinSov. Really appreciate that, Shadrach, and all of your continued support. Somebody had a chat earlier that I wanted to see. Where was it? Satoshi Aoki said, you and the Lord inspired me to start my own channel. Good for you. Very exciting stuff. Crypto Corey said, sharing Jesus and crypto. That's right. Amen. We're going to read a little bit more chat, and then we're going to wrap it out. BIP could destroy it. Core developers can be bought. Hey, here's the thing, guys. I want you to understand something. There is only one thing that is timeless. There's only one thing that cannot be destroyed. And I'll tell you right now, it's not a single thing in all of creation. Because you know what we learn in the Word? We learn that the entire universe is going to burn up at the end of days. And so all of this is going to be is all going to be destroyed anyway. There's only one thing which is eternal. There's only one thing which is indestructible, and it's not Bitcoin. It is the Word of God and God Himself and the eternal and the Spirit and the spiritual. So just keep that in mind. Anything in the physical world can be destroyed, including Bitcoin. Bitcoin is one of the hardest things in all of creation to destroy, but it is not indestructible. Okay? So let's keep that in mind. You take a risk with any investment you make, because we live in a physical world, and everything in the physical can and will eventually, guaranteed, be destroyed and burned. But while we have it, and let's remember it's temporary, while we have it, we are to be good stewards of it because we have been entrusted with it by Him who created it. All right. Buy your initial positions on alts before altcoin season. After alts run, then you can cycle some of that capital into your Bitcoin hodl position, Sergio said. That's kind of what we're talking about. Yep. That's kind of what we're talking about. Brief Crypto said, good morning, Jeb. Thanks. Good morning to you as well. Good morning to you as well. Juan Vial said, greetings from Bali. Shout out to Bali. Shadrach Frost said, apologies for being late. Meetings have to take priority for me. Of course they do. Got a job to do. Good for you. Wouldn't recommend any of you guys to be unwise while watching the stream. I'm definitely interested in you guys being wise while watching the stream. And you guys seem to be quite interested in financial coaching, because I will not name who, but we just had 3 people. 2 people fill out the intake form. 1 person actually purchased financial coaching while we've been live here. So wow, really appreciate that, guys. I right now I haven't really pushed it that much, but I'm gonna open up, I think, like 10 slots for financial coaching every week. Just because I really love working with you guys. I love it. It's one of my favorite things to do. And by the way, I'm not gonna walk away from crypto. People are like, oh my gosh, Jeb, you're gonna do that, and you're not. No. No, you got it all wrong. I love cryptocurrency. Crypto Jeb ain't going anywhere. I'm taking this channel to 500K if we can. By the grace of God, that's where I would love for it to go. I obviously can only do what I can do. If the Lord blesses it, and if the Lord wills, then I'd love to go to 500,000 subscribers during this bull market. But I also love financial coaching. I love personal finance. I love teaching about sovereignty, which is the state of being in control over your finances. So yeah, love doing it. Gonna open up a good number of slots, dedicate a good bit of my time to it, because I love working with you guys. Love working with you guys. I want to set up some long-term relationships with some of you guys and meet with you once a month. Really help you guys get in a good direction. I've got a lot of learning to do too, so I love the experience. It's such a good experience for me to sit down with people and work with them on these things. Hashtag CT2A. This weekend, I am jumping back into my lessons to start again. I noticed many new ones as well. Very excited. Yes, CT2A is a very great product that I would love for you guys to check out. Juan said, amazing explanations always. Thanks, brother. You're very welcome, brother. Lion in my pocket said, working and making money on the right screen, charting, watching Jeb, and making money on the left screen. A true side hustle. Good for you. Love to see it. Love to see it. And guys, by the way, when we do financial coaching, I will work with you with your crypto portfolio if you want. But just keep in mind, I'm not a financial coach. And excuse me, I am a financial coach. I'm not a financial advisor, nor do I want to be one, because it is illegal to talk about markets online the way that I do if you are a registered financial advisor. So I don't want to be an RIA. That's not my intention. I want to be a coach and help you guys understand how to actually grow your wealth. Because my dream for you is not just to have a cool portfolio. My dream for you guys is to really get control over your finances, because when your finances are out of control, then your whole house is going to likely be out of control, and that's going to lead to the destruction of the whole thing. Good luck having a family that's going to operate very well if your finances are not in order. I just want to put it that way for you so you understand the severity of the case. If you've got a wife, if you've got a husband, if you've got kids, if you've got grandkids, if you've got whatever, it's going to be very difficult to manage that house appropriately if your finances aren't in order. There's other things you need to put in order that I'd like to talk about as well. But I do believe finances are one of the most important ones. Not the most important, but they're very close to the top. And so, love to work with you guys on that. Gutter said, this is the first time Bitcoin started such a massive bull run before the halving. Thoughts on that? Should we expect an earlier bull run in general? Yes, I think so. I think we're going to see a huge rally on Bitcoin coming very soon. I think Bitcoin will be trading at $100,000 in Q3 of this year. Could always be wrong. And, ultimately, we've all got to come up with our own conclusions. That is my conclusion. I want you to come up with your own conclusions by learning about technical analysis. But at the end of the day, that is kind of where I think we're going. And I'm quite excited about that. Deadenside said, I just sold my house and made $100,000 profit, putting it all on a diversified crypto portfolio and holding for a year. Boom. Get yourself those long-term capital gains taxes. Make yourself some money. Pretty exciting. Pretty exciting. All right. Let's read a little bit more chat, and then we will wrap it out. Smash that like, my fellow Floridian brother. Cool. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I do appreciate it. Really excited to sit down with you guys. Like I said, good deal. Good deal. All right, guys. Well, like I said, we're going to go ahead and wrap it out. I do want to thank all of you for tuning in. If you did enjoy today's stream, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the post notification bell. And guys, don't forget to sign up for Lux Algo. Lux Algo, our technical indicator with Lux Algo, is coming out very soon. Cannot wait to show that to you. So sign up for Lux Algo with the link in the description box down below. You'll be getting 30% off. Go to that link. Go to luxalgo.com/Jeb, and you will be finding that link. Really enjoy coming and talking with you guys every day as we do. We're going to wrap it out. But before we do, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Oh, I got a real good